On the 7th of February 1964 in New York City, I was a teenager at the time. This is what happened at John F. Kennedy Airport. It was the arrival of the Beatles to America. Those of you my age know who the Beatles are. Those of you not my age may not know who the Beatles are. But what I'm going to show you is their arrival and a little bit of a little bit of wording about it, and this is how it went down. And let's take a look here.
There are rumors around that this is Britain's revenge for the Boston Tea Party. 3,000 screaming teenagers are at New York's Kennedy Airport to greet, you guessed it, the Beatles. This rock and roll group has taken over as the kingpins of musical appreciation among the younger element. Some music critics call their harmony unmistakably diatonic. Others say it's pandiatonic. Parents say it's just plain pandemonium. Their first meeting with the American press brings forth an interview laced with quips and humor. You'd laugh, too, with a gross of $17 million last year.
Now what you just saw has a connection through me to what's in this box. Let's open it up and find out what it is. Well, let's get it out of there. For those who follow my vid, you know I'm on a cholesterol diet right now. Not necessarily a calorie diet, but cholesterol. Got to get the old cholesterol down. It's at 202. And my next doctor appointment, I think, is in February. So I got between now and then to do it, which I will do. The red yeast rice, it needs a little help. I wasn't giving the red yeast rice very much help, by eating all those pizza buffets and all that. You can't do that, sort of like navel jelly. It only works well if you give it a little help, Anyway, I wanted everybody to see these Bromleys apricot preserves. And this is kind of an interesting thing. Wifey picked this up on the way to our son's house last time at a giant flea market we visit along the way in a place called Alma, Arkansas. It's called the A to Z, I think is the name of the place. A couple of miles off Interstate 40. Big giant outfit, man. They got all kinds of things, from tools to food to antique stores, you name it. I mean, it's just a fantastic place. Anyway, she picked up these apricot preserves by Bromley, and on the back you can see here there is 0 saturated fat, 0 trans fat, no cholesterol. It's only got 10 milligrams of salt. No dietary fiber, only 8 milligrams of sugar. No protein, no vitamin A, no vitamin C, no iron, no calcium. Is there anything in this jar? I guess so. Anyway, that's pretty good stuff. It tastes great. It really is good. And it's only got 50 calories. Let me see. Serving size of 1 tablespoon. Now here's something interesting. One of my subscribers, RANUTS2, 8 hours ago, posted a response to my video on Mish-Mash number 30. And I tried to respond to him, and it says, you are not allowed to comment on this post. I've never had that before. Yeah, this Google Plus has been very helpful. And this is it. This is a CX28-1W. Now this thing came in different colors. There was a blue one, I think there was a white one. This one's the brown and white. The blue one looked really nice. So what's the connection between this radio and the Beatles arriving in New York City from England on the 7th of February 1964? Well, I'll tell you. My mother gave me a radio exactly like this for Christmas in 1963. I think it was 63. Might have been 62, but I think it was 63. And I sat in my bedroom that day on the 7th of February 1964 listening to WABC out of New York City report the arrival of the Beatles to the John F. Kennedy Airport. And it was pretty exciting. I was a teenager at the time. Everybody in the world, I believe, was listening and watching on TV or listening to their arrival. I mean, it was momentous. It really was. It was earth-shattering, especially for the young people. And later on, you know, the radio, after I got married, I took it with me, and it fell off the nightstand several times, wound up getting all busted to pieces. And, you know, I was young at the time, decided, well, it's time for it to go. You know, nothing hardly worked on it. It played, but barely. I wish I'd have kept it now. But anyway, years later, I realized, well, I had made a mistake, and I've been searching for one like it ever since. Same color, brown, identical, absolutely identical in every way. I want to get one. I want to kind of, you know, relive my youth a little bit here. It is time for another clue for all of you sitting out there wondering what's in that box. The next clue is Wofford College. This is a United States Army map bag, and I carried one of these for years when I was in the Army. It was the greatest thing, and I didn't use it for maps, you know. I mean, it had dividers on the inside that were waterproof. Let me get this thing unsnapped here. There we go. It had a whole bunch of dividers, plastic dividers that would, you know, you could put your maps in, make them waterproof, but I didn't use it for that. Most of the guys I knew didn't use it for that either. We carried all sorts of things in there. We carried paperwork, of course, and we carried, oh gosh, everything. Pens, pencils, sea rats. We carried our toothpaste and some toiletries, maybe some toilet paper. Whenever we went out in the field, we carried magazines to keep us busy if we needed some. All sorts of things were in these bags. And they were tough and they were strong, and they have a big strap that goes up on your shoulder. They were just great. Just super. Well, you could put a lot of crap down there. It opens up really wide. Anyway, one day some colonel or general or somebody made a ruling that they didn't want the soldiers to carry these bags anymore. It was not part of the uniform. I couldn't believe it, you know? I mean, why didn't they just leave us alone? It was the greatest thing. All the troops that wanted to carry them liked them. We had a great, I mean, you could throw them on the ground, and then, you know, later on when the field exercise was over or whatever, you could just throw them in the wash and wash them. They're tough canvas. Really thick, tough canvas with great, strong snaps. Anyway, I went ahead and bought another one for my daughter to use in her metal detecting. And I also bought a trowel, and I cut off the end, made it round so she can like scoop dirt out. And when they're pointed, you only get like a little bit of dirt. It just kind of flicks it out. But this, she'll be able to, you know, scoop dirt out of her way down in the hole. And I also bought her a hand saw, but I shortened it up and rounded the end. And she can use that. There's a leather pouch, by the way. I plan to buy at Lowe's for this. It'll go on her hip, on her belt. She'll be able to pull it out as needed for cutting roots, you know. She digs down in there and she hits some roots or something trying to find a hit with her metal detector. She can just cut right through it with that saw. Nifty, nifty little thing. And she can either keep the saw with the leather pouch in there or hook it to her belt. And she can keep this in there and whatever else she wants to keep in there. In addition, she'll have a leather pouch on her other side of her hip, on her other hip, that she can put all the gold nuggets in that she finds. She likes to metal detect, and I'm glad she does it. This is a good, strong, sturdy bag for her to put whatever she wants in there. Well, looky there. The clock even still works. I'll tell you what, I was very proud of this radio when I got it for Christmas that year. It was the first real radio I had ever owned. I think for now all I'm going to do is kind of take this paintbrush and knock off some of the dust, clean it up real good, and then I brought my can of spray. I'm going to go ahead and spray it down the volume control right there.
Nothing, you were there.
I'll tell you what, this radio cleaned up really nice on the outside. I got it just looks so good. I got it all shiny and everything. You know, it's got a lot of age marks on it that'll never come out, but you know, it's not that big a deal to me. The only thing I need now is the disc in the center. The clock is working nice, and the volume control is good to go.
You were there.
Everything's perfect on it. I'll tell you what, I'm real. I am so glad to have this radio.
And you were there just to help me through it all. And in my darkest hour of need, I was down on my knees. You were there. You were there.
For those of you who have been following my vids for a while, you remember these cheap junk trash Chinese made shoes I got at Shoe Carnival last year? Well, all of a sudden they have developed a rattle. I've been holding them together with glue. I need more glue even. But both shoes have developed a rattle. A rattle. Check this out. It's coming from the heel area. I think the National Security Agency is on to me. I think they may have stuck some sort of listening device in the bottom of this heel. And they've been spying on me, the NSA. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, if you're listening now, all of you in the NSA, you can kiss my